Devil May Cry 3 Mission 18. If you ever took the time to clear your SS rank table, chances are Mission 18 was one of the last ones you did. I will go out on a limb and say most people who completed the SS rank challenge agree that this is one of, if not the hardest of all 20 missions in the game. In short, this is your classic boss rush mission that is a staple of many Capcom games. I believe this started in Mega Man games, but don't quote me on that. You are given a divinity statue that allows you to change your style, guns, and devil arms, and 9 colored gravestones that correspond to bosses you beat earlier in the game. In this mission, you can fight Cerberus, Gigapede, Agni and Rudra, Leviathan Heart, Nevin, Beowulf, Garion, Doppelganger, and a sort of mock mission too where you fight some hells, including 2 vanguards. The statue for each of these bosses has a stone of a specific color which identifies them, and you can fight whichever boss you want at whatever order you desire. However, Mission 18 has 2 caveats. Caveat number 1, you actually do not have to kill all bosses to finish the mission. I believe Capcom devs had some mercy on players and gave them a few options of subsets of bosses to kill in order to proceed. The way it works is this. You are given a predefined network of connections between bosses. Whenever you beat a boss, the stone corresponding to the boss's color lights up. To finish the mission, you have to light up all the stones to form a cycle in this network, and which cycle you form is up to you. This is a convoluted way to say that you need to select among a subset of possible boss fights to open the portal that leads to the next mission. By and large, the quickest way to finish the mission is what we call Route ABC, Agni and Rudra, Beowulf, and Cerberus. If you beat these 3 bosses, a 3-node cycle is formed and you're out. Not coincidentally, these are some of the hardest bosses in the game, so it makes sense that you would be able to finish the mission faster by choosing the tougher guys. Another route, which is my personal favorite, is the 4-boss cycle, Agni and Rudra, Beowulf, Garion, and Nevin. Essentially you can trade a hard boss, Cerberus, for 2 easier ones, Garion and Nevin. Any other cycle in the network will require you to fight 5 or more bosses, often including my absolute least favorite boss in the game, Gigapede, foreshadowing for the next section. In a casual playthrough, killing all bosses rewards you with a blue orb fragment, so this is a necessary requirement to max out your HP, though you definitely don't need to do that on Dante Must Die difficulty, or at least that's what I've been told. Caveat number 2. Before you even have a chance to do the mission, you first need to complete a fun minigame which is called the Damned Chessboard. This is literally what it sounds like. The mission begins with you trapped in a chessboard with 8 pawns, 2 rooks, 2 bishops, 2 knights, a queen, and a king. And just like in chess, your goal is to defeat the king. If the pawn crosses the board, they will randomly turn into more rooks, bishops, and knights. It takes about a minute for the king to wake up so you can do damage to him. In the meantime, any attack you do will trigger the queen's rage, and she will charge at you from wherever she is on a homing attack, which is signaled by her evil laughter. Once the king wakes up, any attack you deal on him has a probability of triggering a peace trade between him and a random rook, so you have to keep chasing him down through the board, avoiding the queen who will charge at you at each attack, and paying close attention to the visual and audio cues that the barrage of rooks, knights, and bishops do to signal they are about to attack. In lower difficulties, you can use the time until the king wakes up to kill all the other pieces, or at least that's what I've been told. However, on Dante Must Die difficulty, killing any piece will cause all other pieces to devil trigger, making your attacks deal 1/3 of the damage and consequently making this fight much longer. They will also devil trigger if you take more than a minute or so to kill the king, so on top of everything, you have to be swift. Your best bet is to embrace the complete clusterfuck this fight is, keep an eye on where the king is, and make sure all your attacks deal as much damage as possible to him. Trust me, whatever strategy you choose here, this does not get any more consistent with experience. Sometimes the king will be surrounded by other pieces and just have poor positioning. Sometimes the queen will hit because it's very hard to tell where she is at all times, or if she will instantly get to you or take a little longer because she's crossing the board. Sometimes you will miss the bishop's audio cues among the audio overload in this fight, and sometimes you'll get unlucky and land at a knight who's already charging at you. The point is, in order to even get to play the boss rush, you have to put up with all this crap. Back to Mission 18, one question that always lingered at the back of my head since I first played this game in 2007 is it possible to get an SS rank in this mission by killing all bosses? Back then, the prospect seemed insane to me. This is already one of the hardest missions in the game as is. Adding a bunch of extra bosses on top of it seems downright cruel. The thought of killing Gigapede and Beowulf back to back, then doing 7 other bosses no damage was terrifying. The thing about Devil May Cry 3 is, most bosses have some very interesting strats that work beautifully more often than not. But the keyword here is more often than not. Finishing this mission requires picking a strategy for each boss, committing to it, practicing it, and hoping to God that none of them have an unexpected turn. To me this seemed impossible, until I made a video a few months ago doing Mission 17 with all optional battles, and during a conversation in one of the comments, player Helix99 mentioned they actually did this challenge successfully. When I saw the video, which I'll also link in the description, my jaw was on the floor. Helix99 actually beat every single boss in Mission 18 flawlessly, finishing the mission with an SS rank. I need to pause to point out that this isn't even the most impressive thing Helix99 did in DMC3. I am fairly convinced that they're the best DMC3 player out there, even having gone as far as completing all SS ranks from a new game with no style and no weapon upgrades, which is a challenge I wouldn't dare touch him with a 20-foot pole if I'm being honest. Please go give Helix99 a follow because their channel is criminally underrated. Helix's video was the spark of courage that I needed in my life. I was struck with the burst of motivation I needed to try the challenge. To top it off, they mentioned that the challenge, quote, wasn't that bad. Spoiler alert, yes it was. So maybe my fear of this challenge was irrational, right? Taking a page out of the Prince of Darkness's book, it stands to reason that, if Helix did it,
I should be able to do it too.
Upon innocently forgetting that I am, in fact, nowhere near Helix's skill level, I embarked on a journey to a new DMC3 challenge. Finish Mission 18 with an SS rank, defeating all bosses. This means finishing the mission in under 35 minutes, collecting at least 8,000 orbs, and averaging at least 2,500 stylish points, and obviously no damage or items. The game was generous enough to keep the style cutoff so low that an S rank in this criterion is basically guaranteed. Orbs is also not a problem because we will collect well over 20,000 orbs for fighting all the bosses, which essentially means we just have to kill all bosses under the time limit without being touched. This obviously imposes some constraints in what strategies we can use. We have to be aggressive and can't play too safe. On the other hand, we have to make sure that the strategies we choose are marathon safe and have as few failure points as possible. At this point, I have studied every strategy every player ever posted on any video platform. I did this to create the DMC3SS Hall of Fame, link in the description, so I'm well equipped to choose good, consistent strategies for every boss, then practice them to perfection. In what follows, I will briefly describe the strategy I chose for each boss. I should note that the order I will describe is also the order in which I fought the bosses. I sorted them from hardest to easiest, which is the most logical way to play. If you want something bad to happen, let it be sooner rather than later. This is obviously very personal and people have different struggles on different bosses. Let's say a few words about each boss in fighting order, and I will also try to describe why I put them in the position I did. Number 1. The damn chessboard. I chose to use Swordmaster with Beowulf here. Hammer is one of the strongest moves in the game, so it makes sense to choose this as the one move we will get to hit the king before he trades. People often like to use Royal Guard here too, since a full release does much more damage than a hammer, but that requires baiting the queen to attack a few times to feel your rage. Honestly, I wanted to shut off my brain until the king was out, so to me this felt safer. Hammer is also good because you don't have to lock onto the king directly, which is difficult with so many pieces around. Overall, I spent so much time retrying this challenge that I was dodging pieces and hitting hammers without even thinking about it. In my original attempt, I didn't care about how much DT I had at the end of the fight, but this became a point of concern for reasons I will explain later. Usually a DT hammer does more damage, but I stopped using DT when I broke one of the king's horns. I would also taunt mid-fight when the king was charging his attack to ensure I left the chessboard with a nearly full DT gauge. Number 2. Gigapede. It is fitting to start this challenge with Gigapede. This is by far the most frustrating boss battle, maybe with the exception of Arkham on Mission 19. This fight is insufferable no matter what you do. I have PTSD of resetting Mission 4 over and over and over using Royal Guard Spiral Strat because the ultimate angle was just slightly off and an angled purple orb would break it. Ugh. This time I decided to use the classic Propeller Swordmaster strat. This fight can go in one of two ways, which will depend on the Gigapede's first move. It will either spin or go straight, and you can tell which one it is by the speed at which it comes out of the hole. In all attempts I will show here, he started off by going straight, which requires you to use Propeller twice to deflect the orbs in a very precise manner. I will leave an appendix in this video showing what to do when the fight goes the other way. You can also watch Helix's video to see it executed much better than I did. What's important to note is that both your timing and your positioning to successfully hit Propeller has to be extremely precise. You will often be mispositioned and fall off when the Gigapede starts moving, and knowing when to start the Propeller movement in all his combinations of moves requires a lot of practice to get the timing right. Even so, you will sometimes fail because the boss behaves weird or randomly delays all the orbs for no reason. The take home message here is this fight is always a dice roll, so it is logical to do it first in case it crashes and burns. Number 3. Beowulf. Next is Beowulf. Casually, this fight is extremely fun to do as Royal Guard, but I put it earlier in the list because it is very easy to mistime a parry and get chip damage that will send you back to the chessboard. It's kinda hard to explain, but this fight has a sort of a rhythm, and until my finger starts dancing to the rhythm of the fight, I often make small mistakes. Royal Guard is amazing against Beowulf, because the fool just releasing his eye takes a colossal amount of damage that allows us to skip the final phase of the battle, where he goes full berserk, starts stomping crates that fall on you, use the feather move, and is just downright unpredictable in what he will do. I have more examples of this fight in my all SS rank video, also linked below, which I recommend you watch because I put a whole month's worth of effort in it. The fight is pretty self-explanatory, I believe. Number 4. Agni and Rudra. Next on the list is Agni and Rudra, a somewhat easier fight than Beowulf, but similarly dangerous because of the potential to misadjust guard. The strat here is to stay between the two brothers, parrying all of their moves and taunting as much as possible to build up your DT. You can use DT to interrupt their lit swords. The bulk of the damage will come when they go to the corner and jump at you, at which point you can do a just release that hits both and also instantly fills your DT. The difficulty in this fight is that the camera is very awkward, so you often have to use the camera adjust button to ensure you can see both brothers and hear everything they are doing. It is also imperative to practice your timing to guard the jumps, because even if you don't take damage from mistiming the second one, the stun can often be sufficient for you to get hit by their next move. Number 5. Mission 2. This fight is interesting. It is sort of a Mission 2 remix, where you have to fight 2 Helvan guards in the middle of the fight. Many players actually do this fight as an extra to the mandatory boss fights to ensure you collect enough orbs for an S rank, but I am terrified of this fight. The first Vanguard appears when you are down to 2 enemies in the first wave, but you can actually fight him alone if you DT and clear the room when there are 3 or more enemies. However, you cannot do the same thing for the second Vanguard, which will appear when you are down to 2 enemies in the second wave of Gluttonies and Prides. In other words, you have to fight this guy while other enemies are chasing you, which requires a lot of moving around. I use Trickster here to do the absolute cheapest escape strategy to Vanguard's teleports, and use the coziest setup of Kalina N to keep enemies stunned, E and I for more airtime, and Rebellion and Beowulf to get rid of the enemies. The biggest risk in this mission using Trickster is, if you Skystar in the same direction the Vanguard is going, you will get hit, and you will often have to think very fast to know where he is going, especially with turbo mode on. This is why I do this mission so early. If I am to make that mistake, let it be made sooner rather than later. Number 6. Cerberus. A few months ago I made an entire video explaining in detail why Cerberus is a dick, but the gist of it is, one of his head does a move where icicles fall from the sky. And trust me when I say, there is absolutely no safe way to avoid this move if he decides to spam it. The 2 most common strategies to avoid icicles is using the weapon Cerberus' Ice Age with Swordmaster, or just good old fashioned Skystar with Trickster. I choose the latter because there is a risky combination of moves if you choose Ice Age that is impossible to escape. We will use the cowardly strategy of staying in the corner and shooting with Spiral. We stay in a position where only the icicle move can hit you, and we cross our fingers that he will use this move as little as possible. Please don't judge me, I'm trying to be marathon safe here. Number 7. Leviathan Heart. This fight is fast but terrifying. The biggest risk here is landing on the floor where enemies may be waiting for you with an attack. To avoid this, we need to stay as high up as possible so that all enemies are off camera. Fortunately, there's a clever way to attain this. The boss's right lung has a faulty geometry. If you are mid-air, you may land on the lung, causing the game to give you extra moves you can normally only do once, like air hike. We will abuse this to stay as high up as possible. To do damage, we will use only 2 moves from Swordmaster, Beowulf's Hammer and Nevin's Air Sight. We will alternate between them both to defeat the lung and to do damage to the main boss. This includes doing damage when he uses the lasers across the room. Be very careful here, because if you forget to swap weapons, you will land directly on the lasers. This fight requires practice, do not underestimate it. Number 8. Doppelganger. Often deemed one of the easiest bosses in the game, this fight here has a very important plot twist. Unlike in Mission 17, you actually start the fight in the dark, very close to the boss, who will be ready to kill your attempt within 2 seconds of the fight start. You need to run away as fast as possible to the light to start the fight, and you need to pay close attention to the possibility that he will use Stinger and Combo 1 instead of Beast Uppercut. Once you are able to break the first light and hit him, we'll use the classic strategy with Cerberus, Beowulf, and Royal Guard. I described this strategy in Mission 17 all optional battles video in case you want to check it out, but in short, we'll use Cerberus to break the light, air parry his Beast Uppercut to build DT and Rage. Doing this 3 times should be sufficient if you follow the recipe correctly. Number 9. Garion. Garion can be either the easiest boss on the list or the hardest, depending if you are able to keep him in a loop or not. We use the classic strategy with Swordmaster, Rebellion, Beowulf, and E&I, where we will use Real Impact and Tornado to stop him in his tracks. I also try to squeeze taunts while he's down so I can use as many DTs as possible and minimize the time this fight takes. On Turbo mode, mashing for Tornado requires somewhat high mashing speed. I lost some attempts at Garen because I did not mash hard enough, and trust me, it is an awful feeling. It is vital to practice this loop many times and ensure you have it down to a science before making attempts. If he escapes the loop, you will likely get hit. Number 10. Nevin. Last, and also somewhat least, is Nevin. Of course this goes from person to person, but I think Nevin is the easiest boss in the roster. She has slow, predictable moves, and the strategy I use is as consistent as it gets. This battle is long, but as long as you keep your cool, you should have no problem. I use Quicksilver here to have as much time as possible to kill her B-jump cancel her when she's vulnerable. I often use a fully charged straight to break her shield, which also recovers DT and allows me to time lag instantly. Stay up with E and I when the floor electrifies, and stay far enough from her to avoid anything else she does. And attack when she either laughs or spins. Rinse and repeat. This fight is long and boring, but as long as we can play it safe, that is all that matters. I will show you the result of 2 weeks of practice, then finish this video with a somewhat interesting story. The grind was unsurprisingly awful. Each attempt took a very long time, and by the end of it, I could do most battles without even paying attention. Streaming attempts would quickly turn into 5-hour sessions because of the length of the mission, which is exhausting. But I tried to persist and stay optimistic. I failed and failed and failed and failed again, but after 4 straight days of embarrassing myself live in front of my viewers, I finally achieved the run you're about to see. In what follows, I added some comments throughout the video, but if you want to see the unedited footage, I will leave a link in the description below. There will also be a lot of Portuguese banter in the video because most of my viewers at the moment were Brazilian, but I will translate everything I say to English. English subtitles are available on YouTube's closed caption. That took 2 hours with Gigapede. Oh my god. Time lost for next run, huh? But that's good, that means you got a Gigapede down in a run. That's progress. I'm trying to hold on to the fact that I'm getting, well, at least yesterday, I was getting past Beowulf more often, you know? So I got actually real attempts down. Oh, there you go, like, you only get better at these things, you know? Gigazip is always the same, and you only get better at it, so pretty soon you're gonna be like resetting when you fail Gigazip. Because you know you can't PB anymore without it. He's gonna DT. Oh, he did. Come on, give me another taunt. Okay, good. Man, the loops. Wait, I don't know what loop you do. Do you use Helmbreaker to drop him down on a speedrun? Because I use Real Impact, but I know you can use Helmbreaker too. Like, jump on top of him, Hellbreaker, and parry when he does, like, the carriage spin. Oh, this was awful. This was awful. Very little damage. This is concerning. He's gonna have a bunch of HP if I even get this right. Okay. I'll take it. Have him break, follow up with area cross slashes. I see Lona do a jump parry and goal release between his foot and the... A jump parry and goal release between... Oh, like, so it hits both? That's crazy. It's insane, like... I was doing this yesterday night and doing like a bunch of consistent builds, and then today I kind of like forgot my entire muscle memory, and then I have to re-practice. But I don't want to waste time on practice. I want to do attempts, because I already know everything. Damn it! That was bad. That was really, really bad. I don't know why it's not hitting the eye. Was I not high enough? And I missed this one too. This is gonna be bad. Okay, let's see what we can do. Camera? Okay, we savaged. Horrible execution, but at least we passed people. That's what matters. On to the next dipshit. Alright, watch this, watch this. Oh my god, I almost got hit there. Okay, that's bad. Okay. I'm gonna do mission 2 right away. I'm gonna do mission 2 because I think that's like a risk point that I'm more concerned about than Cerberus. So we're gonna do just that. Very vanilla missionary style mission 2. Uh-oh. The Lutz is out, the Lutz is out. Okay, we're good. Oh my god. I always do that when I get nervous. Okay, the biggest risk here is going on the same direction as he's going, like, when he goes horizontal. If you Sky Star at the same direction, you're toast. Okay, that's bad. Okay. Okay, I think we're good. I don't need DT for servers, so this really doesn't matter. Alright. Boring mission 2 done. Now on to servers. So the thing about Cerberus is luck. If he decides to spam icicles, I'm toast. There's nothing I can do. Otherwise, we have a chance. We are tricksters, so we just need Spiral. Nope, I don't slide. I just press. That's why I have like horrible jump cancels with swing. Oh, it started. For Killer Bee, that's enough. You don't do the fastest jump cancels like that, but that's enough for me. What a lot of people do... Hold on. What a lot of people do is like use their index finger. Let go of R1 and use the index finger to press triangle, and thumb for X. Blue phase icicles is chill. Red phase is the concerning part. Damn it, I missed the DT. That's bad. Please just keep doing that. Just keep doing that. Yes! Oh, fuck. I let go of my finger. It's gonna take a little while, but I don't care. We got time. All we got in this world is time. Open like a true speedrunner. What's next? Levy. Levy's next. Remember to swap weapons. This would be an SS on mission 18, by the way. At this point. But we're masochists, so we're continuing. Alright, Levy. Alright, thanks, man. Thank you for the good luck. Good luck on the commentary. Get the fuck out of here. Oh my god. Alright, breathe. Doppelganger next. Alright, Garion. We have some DT extra for Garion. E aí, Capa? E aí, Unca? Desculpa, tô um pouco nervoso. Vou só dar uma respirada e a gente vai fazer o Garion e a Neva agora. E fechar esse desafio. Vamos que vamos. Eu vou ficar caladinho agora. Já fiz primeiro.
Só falta Neva. Just Neva. E aí, Gonat? Só terminar. Só fazer a Neva feijão com arroz, velho. Feijão com arroz. Eu não sei, velho. Ainda mais com o tanto de café que eu tomo. Tá vindo qualquer dia desse. Vamos lá. Neva, feijão com arroz. Alinha e é isso. Simbora. Eu também. Mas tem que... Vamos lá, vou ficar caladinho, vou focar aqui. Ganhamos. Será que nós ganhamos? Será que nós ganhamos? Será que nós ganhamos? Rezar agora, porque eu só fico tranquilo quando aparecer o SS. Brasil! We did it! Ué, o quê? What quê? Que foi? Não, S, aparece S, mas é SS quando aparece todos os S nos critérios. Foi SS, nós ganhamos. We did it. We fucking did it. Oh my god, I can't believe this. I can't look at this forever. Jesus Christ, I was so... I think I'm retiring from Devil May Cry 3 after this, but This is the peak. Thanks, Gonrich. Thanks, Young. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna wind down for a second and just... Peak DMC performance. P2 pra estressar? Vamos, a gente pode fazer um speedrun de P2 com certeza. Oh my god. I'm so happy. Jesus fucking He cries. My heart stopped when I missed the Garyon. Like, Garyon just wouldn't go down. And I was like, fuck, not again, because I had like a run died at Garyon last time. The time was awful. 26:49 is just trash. We did much better than that, but that's because I had to do an extra cycle at Doppelganger too. So that took a lot of time. This could have been like a 23 and a 24, but this is also the first Mission 18 all bosses with turbo mode. Helix99 did it. By the way, shout out to Helix99. Best Devil May Cry 3 player I've ever seen in my life. They did it first. You know, they inspire me to do this, and I really appreciate, you know, having discovered their channel. Go give them a follow. They're infinitely better than me in every way, shape, and form. And yeah, thanks for inspiring me to do this, because it was brutal, but now we got it, and we got it forever. Yeah, Yonk, I think I didn't... The thing about turbo mode is that, like, you have to mash circle much faster than non-turbo. On like non-turbo mode, you can mash like more easily and still got the tornado. But I was mashing like a maniac, so I wouldn't miss the tornado at all. That was terrifying. Garyon's terrifying because it can be either the easiest or the hardest boss depending on what happens. If you miss the loop, it's the hardest boss. If you don't miss the loop, it's like completely free and completely risk-free. Anyways, I'm gonna even save this so the game knows that I did it, you know. October 1st, night. I woke up to the sound of falling rain. I can't believe I'm still alive. Broken fingers but pride intact, exactly. Alright, cool. Yeah, let's do some P2. We got like a PB and all bosses all at the same day. Holy shit, dude. Hope the stream... It looks like the stream hasn't disconnected, so we're good. É, 1º de outubro, dia do Resident Evil 3. Olha que bonito minha tabela. Tudo SS no DVD. Mas eu não consigo terminar no Very Hard, que é muito difícil.
And that, in many ways, is the end of the story. But I want to make a quick observation. On my first day of streams, I was doing the mission without resetting for practice sake. If I took a hit anywhere, I would still do it from start to finish so I'd start getting comfortable with every boss. In one of these practice attempts, which happened on September 28th, my first day of streaming attempts, I got hit by the queen in the chessboard, but decided to continue. I will show you the entire run without commenting much further, but I will point out that this ended up being an interesting psychological experiment in comparing how we play when the stakes are high versus when we already know there is nothing to lose. Also, if you would like to see a second example of how to beat every boss in the game flawlessly, you will definitely enjoy this next run. Keep in mind, however, that you will hear a lot of angry grunts in Portuguese, which I also translated for your entertainment. Alright, enjoy.
Eu tenho que dar o Ice Age um pouquinho mais tarde só. Só isso que faltou, velho. Mas o RNG foi bom, tudo foi bem executado, só eu dei o Ice Age um pouquinho cedo demais. Bem no fim. É muito... Pelo menos é na missão 4, né? Porque, tipo, o chato do Gigapede é você fazer a missão 4 todinha, velho. A missão 4 tem uma luta chata contra os enigmas. Tem uma luta fácil, mas demorada contra os slots e os gluttons. E tem uma luta que é insuportável, que é Abyss e Soul Eater. Que às vezes você chega na luta, 2 segundos o Soul Eater te ataca e você tem que resetar. Aí depois disso tudo, você tem a chance de lutar contra o Gigapede. E aí você entra na luta, 2 segundos, aí o Gigapede te ataca e tem que voltar pro começo. A missão 4 é traiçoeira. É uma das minhas missões menos favoritas do jogo. Eu digo até que é talvez a segunda ou a terceira mais difícil do jogo, pra pegar SS. Aqui eu já tomei dano. Mas eu vou continuar. Continuar que eu quero fazer no reset. Quero fazer pelo menos uma que a gente faça mais ou menos bem. Tem que começar a fazer isso aqui, velho. Ah! Eu tenho que começar a alternar o Hammer com Aerial Rave. Eu acho que dá mais dano do que eu ficar pulando e dando Hammer, que às vezes eu dou Zodiac por acidente. Que emote é esse? Luiz G23 Bispo. Ah, você tem emote de Silent Hill 3? Depois eu vou te dar um follow lá. Pra você correr. Ah, Robbie the Rabbit. Respeito. Beleza, aqui a gente vem aqui pra cima. Aí ele vai cuspir a bola azul gigante. Vai não, perdemos. Ganhamos. Eu também. Eu gosto mais do 2, mas eu corro o 3. O 3 é mais legal de correr. Me pegou de surpresa aqui com essas bolinhas roxas na volta. Véio. Eu achava que ele ia cuspir a bola azul gigante, que é o que normalmente ele faz. Tem que ficar esperto aí pra essas coisas. Agora bora fazer o Beowulf. Beowulf padrão, aquele Beowulf textbook. Aquele Beowulf que tá escrito no detonado da revista Ação Games. É assim que você mata. Tocar pra realidade. O 1 é esquisito, mas ele tem um charme, velho. O 1 tem um charme que eu não sei explicar. Ele é um jogo, sei lá, estranho. Mas o melhor jeito possível. Bora, meu filho. E é assim que a gente faz, meu filho. Textbook. Eu gosto da história dos 4 primeiros. Os 4 primeiros são os meus 4 jogos favoritos, basicamente. Eu não sei fazer esse segundo release, velho. Eu sempre me enrolo aqui. Ah, essa foi bonita, velho. Essa luta foi bonita. Eu gosto do 4, velho. Eu acho que o 4 foi um dos jogos mais criativos que eu já joguei. Reclame quem reclamar, o 4 é um jogo sensacional. Ah, filão. Filho de chocadeira. Se eu fizer esses 3 chefes sem dano, eu vou chorar, velho. Criativo, o 4 sim. Não? Bora, seus cornos. Ah, parou, velho. Será que a gente vai conseguir terminar todos os chefes sem tomar dano e vai perder o SS por causa do chessboard que eu não resetei? Eu vou chorar se isso acontecer, velho. Por favor, Cerberus, me dá um RNG zoado. Algum chefe, por favor, me faça cometer um erro, porque eu não vou conseguir dormir à noite se isso acontecer, velho. Fazer um Run Nightmare 100%. Esses dias eu vou ficar devendo. Se alguém tomar meu tempo, eu faço. Aí fica difícil pra mim, né? Bem comportadinho o Cerberus, olha. Só porque essa corrida já tá morta. Só porque esse attempt já não dá mais. Não é nada, velho. Ele tem 3 cabeças, cada cabeça dá um golpe diferente. Tem essa cabeça que cospe uma bola de gelo. Se você ficar nesse canto, ela não te acerta. Tem a cabeça que enche o chão de gelo, que você tem que pular pro ar. E tem a cabeça que faz o gelo cair do céu. Só que a cabeça que faz o gelo cair do céu é horrível. É um saco, é insuportável. Só que dessa vez ele decidiu não usar essa cabeça. Só porque... não importa. Só porque eu já tomei dano no chessboard. É o jogo me dizendo pra eu não aceitar mais attempt que não sai do chessboard. Vai pro inferno de onde você veio, por favor. Eu já tô com 13.000 orbs. Pior, velho. Pior. Mas não tem nada não, porque eu vou tomar um dano no leve. Eu vou tomar um dano no leve agora. E aí eu vou ficar tranquilo que não era pra ser essa mesmo. Eu uso um Google Stadia. Opa, tá errado. Não. Esse jogo me odeia, velho. Esse jogo me odeia, com certeza. Mas não tem problema não, que no Doppelganger a gente vai errar com certeza, velho. Mas eu não parto, velho. Eu faço o desafio e eu volto pra ele, porque eu gosto do jogo. Ah! Esse boss é só repetição, velho. Só no começo que você tá na posição meio esquisita. E às vezes ele faz uns negócios meio inesperados. Tá de sacanagem com a minha cara, velho. Tá de sacanagem com a minha cara. Vou fazer um Gary. Só pode estar de brincanagem com a minha cara. Não, tem mais 3 ainda. Mais 3. Mas são os 3 mais fáceis, né? Eu passo da ordem do mais difícil pro mais fácil, né? Porque se alguma coisa errada tiver que acontecer, tem que acontecer no começo. Não no final. A gente não faz o Verge nessa... Porque aqui a gente tá no inferno que a gente mata os bosses, os chefes, e eles vão pro inferno, né? Aí a gente tá reenfrentando eles aqui. De sacanagem, velho. Não acredito que isso vai acontecer. Por favor, Vanguard, me ataca nessa missão 2. Faz uma coisa muito esquisita. Mas não me deixa terminar essas outras 2 lutas sem tomar dano, velho. Ah, Trickster. Esse jogo me odeia. Ah! I have no mouth and I must scream.
That was wonderful. Bravo! I loved that. Oh, it was great. Well, it was pretty
Guarda
good.
pra daqui a
It
pouco,
wasn't
velho.
bad. Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good.
Guarda aqui pra, guarda pra...
I really like it. It was pretty terrible. It was bad. It was awful. It was terrible. Get him away. Hey, boo! Boo!
Guarda pra depois da neva. Aí você manda isso aí. Ah, foi pro outro lado. Me acerta aqui, por favor. Are you enjoying yourself? Are you enjoying yourself? Eu vou chorar, velho. Eu juro por Deus que eu vou chorar. Diz que eu falhei em style, pelo amor de Deus.
That was wonderful. Bravo! I loved that. Oh, it was great. Well, it was pretty good. Well, it wasn't bad. Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good. It could have been a lot better. I didn't really like it. It was pretty terrible. It was bad. It was awful. It was terrible. Get him away! Hey, boo! Boo!
I don't know what to say. I am speechless right now. God fucking damn it.
Para com essa porra aí, meu irmão! Porra, eu não sou nenhum babaca, não! Esse bando de paternista! Todos os alunos criados a leite com pera! A ovo maltino! A pão com mortadela!
And most importantly,
Não aguenta 10 minutos de porrada comigo!
let's go again!
So fortunately, the story of this mission, which we just told in reverse, had a happy ending. But I find it interesting to contrast how I play when I'm nervous versus when I couldn't care less. This is also to remind you, if you ever try to get an SS rank and lose an attempt at the end, just remember that this happened to me. And if you're stuck in a boss, I hope this video is helpful to you. You can also always ask questions on the comment section below or my Twitch chat, and I'll be happy to help. All that's left now is to show you how to beat the Gigapede when it starts the fight by spinning. I will show 2 examples of this fight next. An educational one that shows what to do if you do not do enough damage through purple orbs, and a stylish one with one of the coolest drives I have ever done in my life. Without further ado, here is Man vs Gigapede.
Aqui dá pra fazer o Ice Age.
And that's the end of that. Thanks again to Helix for making me believe this was possible in the first place. The journey was extremely fun, and now I can add this to my Devil May Cry 3 resume. If you want to see more boss ownage, make sure to check out my 3-hour-long video achieving an SS rank in every mission with both Dante and Virgil. Thank you as always for your attention, and I will see you in the next one. Peace!